Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 19, Productive Prosperity Part 2, Tools to Connect Your Energy with Your Actions. Listen to today's episode to learn how, as a highly sensitive entrepreneur, you can learn to be more prosperous and more productive with part 2 of this special 3-part podcast series, The Inner and Outer Approach to Productive Prosperity. So that leads us to part 2. Tools to connect your energy with your actions. So why is this important? Well, part 2 is important because the mind is tricky. The mind is a little trickster. You must mind the mind. And what you want is you want to put tools in place that will support you in doing this. Support you in minding the mind, keeping a rein on that trickster so that you can be in conscious creation with your state of being. So you use and implement tools to support you in doing this. Tools like the order form to the universe and tools like the belief transformation tool. It's exactly everything that I'm talking about today is why I created those tools. To support myself in being focused on shifting my state of being. Because as I'm sure you've heard me say many, many times, especially when I first started off in business, I felt like I was in a consistent state of terror. And I recognized that in order for me to experience anything different, I would have to stop looking outward and I would have to start getting a handle on my state of being. So the order form to the universe, the primary intention of that tool is to create clarity from confusion. Because fear and doubt often spring from confusion, from not knowing where to focus, not knowing what's coming down the pike. I'm not saying the order form to the universe is to predict your future. But it's to support you in shifting from being invested in being confused to being able to come out of the clouds, come out of the fuzziness, and get clear. And then through that clarity, through that shift from confusion to clarity, then you can tap into the next inspired action, or what I like to refer to as your next baby step. Inspired action, which we'll talk about in part 3, because all you need is a next action, no matter how big or small, that comes from inspiration, that comes from faith, that comes from certainty, rather than action that comes from fear. Because when you're acting out of fear, you'll just get more confusion. And then that creates the spiral, the merry-go-round, the unpleasant roller coaster ride. I'm realizing I'm using all of these amusement park analogies. And amusement parks really are fun, but not when you don't feel like you're in control of which ride you get to ride when. So then we have a tool like the belief transformation tool. And the belief transformation tool was created to support what came through with the OFTU. Because what I found is that when I would put together an order form to the universe, and again, the basics of the order form to the universe are, what don't I want? What don't I want to feel? What do I want? What do I want to feel? And how do I want others to feel? And honestly, those 5 questions came right out of my teaching, came right out of teaching drama to high school students. Because those are the questions that I would always ask my students to go through when evaluating their work. Those are the questions I would ask my students to go through to evaluate their work so that they could improve from a place where they felt connected to what needed to happen next for the improvement to take place. So I just started using that for myself when I was in my business. And then what I started to discover through the OFTU and using that is I started identifying beliefs. I started identifying limiting or non-serving beliefs. And I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe I believe that. That's really, Heather, what's up with that? So then I recognized that I needed something to support myself in being able to stay consistent with shifting the belief. Because what I tried first, and this is just me, this might work differently for you, but what I tried first is I tried things like other energetic tools that I had been taught, things like meditation, traditional insight meditation, and that helped in the moment. But then I found that when I got back into action, like taking care of tasks for my business, I would just boomerang back. So I wanted something where I could track it because I had learned in a universal teaching that what you track attracts. And that's a writer downer. What you track attracts. So that's the purpose and intention of the belief transformation tool. If this is a tool that you've used in the past, or maybe you've just looked at it and you're like, oh, that's nice, or you've used it in the past, or you just stopped using it, I would recommend going back and giving it a whirl in support of any belief of lack that you currently have activated. Any belief about your ability to manifest, about your ability to create income, about your ability to sell in your business, about your ability to ask for business, any beliefs that you have about your ability to be productive, what that does or does not mean. On a recent Q&A coaching call, we were identifying these beliefs that a lot of different members had about what it meant to work at the dining room table. And somehow there were stories that were activated about that meant that you weren't really a good entrepreneur, that you weren't really productive. So you want to identify, which of course, by the way, is not true. It's just a preference of where you want to work, right? It's amazing how we tell ourselves these stories. We give our beliefs meaning. So you want to identify, and then you want to commit to transforming. So the BTT is not a one-shot deal. It's something that I recommend that you're using on a daily basis for a minimum of 30 days and just watching that limiting belief shift and change. And then your state of being changes, and then your experience changes. And here's the thing that I've really discovered about using tools like the order form to the universe or the belief transformation tool is that when you actually commit to transforming a belief, that's when the ego mind or the fear-based mind, however you want to language it, can rear its ugly head and begin to fight like hell for you to stay where you are. And there will become feelings of gripping or holding on, resistance. But what I've really come to understand is that when you most feel like holding on to something, that's the best time to let go. And when you are in doubt, you want to act your way into belief. So when you identify a limiting or non-serving belief, and any limiting belief or non-serving belief is going to be in correlation with doubt and fear. It's going to be working against what it is that you say that you want for yourself in your business and in your life. So you want to support yourself with tools to shift your energy so that you can then move into action Because again, when you're in doubt, you want to act your way into belief. You can't wait to believe and then act. It'll never happen. Now, not knowing what you want or what you wish to have is a major cause for doubt and disbelief, and then lack of productivity, which is why we use the order form to the universe. Because that right there basically is the formula for sabotage, is that you're in confusion, so you feel a lot of doubt and disbelief, and then you don't do anything. But the best way to heal worry and to heal fear is to break it down and discover what it is, to discover what it is truly, or to discover what is truly true, true with a capital T. And a tool like the Belief Transformation Tool supports you in doing that, dismantling the story, breaking down the fear, debunking the myth, or whatever meaning you're giving. I was recently having a conversation with a private mentor client. I was having a coaching call, and she was resisting taking action on something that's very important for her to take action on for her success. And when we took a look at it, well, why aren't you taking action on this? And what came out was the belief is that, well, no one who's really professional takes action in this way. And what I told her is, actually, I know for certain, that, high-level companies and television shows actually take action in this certain way all the time. So it was a dismantling of the belief. It was a shifting of the story. And again, that's the power of the BTT. And when you're able to break it down, then that begins to raise your confidence. And that's what happened for my private mentor client, like in an instant, in a second. The minute I gave her a different story, a different view, she was like, oh, okay, I can totally do it. I can do it. So it raises your confidence. It wipes out the fear. And again, that's why we use tools like Order Form to the Universe, like the Belief Transformation Tool. Because you always have what you believe. You will always get what you believe. Again, what you fear is what you will experience. State of being first. So use tools to shift the state of being, to shift the energy, so that then you can move into aligned action. When you affirm clarity of intent, when you affirm certainty, then you will experience more of what you affirm to be certain. So in the midst of chaos all around you, you're like, nope, I am certain that I am going to succeed. I am certain I will have this number of people in my class. I am certain I will bring on these clients. I am certain this email that I'm going to send out is going to create the results that I want. And I am certain that if my specific plan A doesn't go the exact way that I want it to, then I will be shown what plan B is. And that's another major misstep or mistake, a mistake that so many people make. They're like, okay, I'm certain, and they take action, and it doesn't go the way they want. I go, oh, yep, see, look, this is a bunch of bull. The path has many different bumps in it. The certainty is on the path. The certainty is that you will get from New York to Los Angeles. You might have to pull off to the side of the road, go over a mountain, take a detour, but you will get from New York to Los Angeles. So if it isn't plan A, then go to plan B and C and D and E and F and G and H and I with certainty. that you will experience the results you set your intention on.
Join me next time for the final part 3 of Productive Prosperity. Small steps produce considerably huge results. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.